Go.
We hear President Trump say America first. Tonight, President Trump put himself first.
A little whiff of fascism tonight, I think it's fair to say.
Absolutely.
A little whiff of, I don't care about the law, I'm the boss.
He's always been so dense. A little whiff of fascism here. How so? A little whiff of fascism? I tell you, these people have lost their minds. They're completely out of their wits. And so Alan Dershowitz appears on CNN. And, it's not like you need to hear Alan Dershowitz to justify our views and our positions of the law and policy and so forth. But it is nice to hear a little bit of this. And he was on CNN, and this must have really ticked them off. What did he think about all this? Go.
If he appoints someone, you say.
Who's to say he wouldn't fire this person, too? Look at his record so far. Sally Yates, gone. Preet Bharara, told that he was going to stay, gone. James Comey, gone.
Oh, stop. Oh, wow. Now this is impressive. Photos. Liberal Democrat Yates, gone. Liberal Democrat Bharara, gone. And Comey. So what? So what? He fired 2 Obama appointees and Comey. That's a pattern of what? Go ahead.
All 3 of whom had the potential to investigate
You are a disgrace, Toobin. You are disgusting. Go ahead.
Trouble the Trump presidency.
All 3 appointed by Democrats. All 3 appropriately replaced by a Republican. But what we
wait. It was appropriate that James Comey. Why do they have 10-year terms?
Well, no, I think it was appropriate that he not be the director of the FBI. I think a lot of this is his fault. I think he should have resigned. He should have looked in the mirror and said to himself, I am not trusted by Democrats. I am not trusted by Republicans. I am not trusted by the American public. And he should have resigned.
In just 2 or 3 sentences, Dershowitz makes more sense than Toobin all night long and the hosts all night long. He fired 2 Democrats appointed by Obama and has replaced them with Republicans. Boy, that's a pattern. Yes, we call it an election. And the pattern is Democrats go, Republicans in. If the Democrats win, the pattern is Republicans out, Democrats in. And Comey's a different issue. And Dershowitz raises a good point. You're the FBI director. Whatever you think of what you've done, right, wrong, or in between, you now know that both political parties don't trust you. The American people don't trust you. You should have resigned. But you didn't. There's nothing to this, ladies and gentlemen. I know people want to make something of this, particularly the Democrats, because they want impeachment, they want criminalization, they want to stop the Trump agenda. Even when they agree with the Trump agenda, they want to stop it. Why? They want power. They want the Senate, they want the House, they want the Supreme Court, they want the presidency. That's it. That's what motivates them, so they can impose their progressive agenda on the rest of the country. And Hillary was next in line, and she was supposed to get it. And all these votes poured out of California, so she got the popular vote. And the Electoral College, that's made by old slave-owning founders and everything. We're the future. This is now. We got to change all this, you see. But CNN wasn't done. Kellyanne Conway was on the Anderson Cooper show, another liberal. And she's out there trying to, she's trying to defend herself in the administration where she really shouldn't have to. If we had a real media in this country, they would be explaining exactly what took place. They would be doing what I'm doing. They would take the headlines of the Democrats, they might take headlines of the Republicans, they would take past audio and say, look, there's a consensus in this country that James Comey needed to go. However, the Democrats have reversed their positions and now they're on the attack. Have you heard a single commentator who is paid by CNN as a news analyst, legal analyst, or a host tell you the truth about what's taking place? Just the truth. No. Jeffrey Toobin knows that the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District is a longtime Democrat. Jeffrey Toobin knows that the acting Attorney General was an acting Attorney General because the Democrats in the Senate held up sessions, and she was the Deputy Attorney General under Loretta Lynch and under Barack Obama. He knows she was political. He knows Comey should have gone, and he gets up there with his drama and talks about this non-democrat countries do this. This is a day that shall live in infamy, and so forth and so on. And he's interrupting Dershowitz and making faces at Dershowitz as well. Well, Kellyanne Conway was in with Anderson Cooper. This went beautifully. Go.
Jeff Sessions, who has recused himself for anything to do with Russia, why was he involved in this decision? Why is somebody who's recused himself?
Because, dummy, it had nothing to do with Russia. That's why. Why was he involved? He's involved with the Russia thing and that's it. Did you read the memorandum from the Deputy Attorney General? It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Having anything to
You
do
notice the plane in the background? That's the FBI director's jet. So it's guarded by a couple of what they are as FBI agents. And so they're focused on this the whole night till he gets into the jet. I mean, I'm going, wow, could be any jet. Go ahead.
The Russia investigation involved in the decision to fire the guy who's heading the Russia investigation. Does that look odd to you?
The FBI director reports to the Deputy Attorney General. The Deputy Attorney General reports to the Attorney General. The Attorney General reports to the President of the United States. This had nothing to do with Russia, as much as somebody must be getting $50 every time the word is said, I'm convinced, on TV. It has nothing to do with Russia. It has everything to do with whether the current FBI director has the President's confidence and can faithfully and capably execute his duties. The Deputy Attorney General decided that was not the case. He wrote a very long memorandum about it. He presented that to the Attorney General. The Attorney General presented it to the President. The President took the recommendations, as he says in his brief, but very powerful letter today.
Why is it so hard to understand? Because they don't want to understand it. But then we have another problem. The Republicans. As soon as I heard this, I also said on the radio, I can't wait to hear what John McCain has to say. Or the usual suspects, who are bizarre in the way they react to certain things. Here's the Hill newspaper. GOP senators were split over President Trump's decision to fire FBI Director James Comey, with many Republicans appearing to be caught off guard by the announcement. Of course they're caught off guard. They're senators. They don't run the executive branch. Several Senate Republicans voiced concern about the decision, which comes as the FBI investigates possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia, while others offered support for Trump, saying he was within his authority to remove him. Now, let me first say this. Let me reiterate what I said the other day. I support the appointment of an independent special counsel, but to investigate Hillary Clinton, her former State Department staff, her private server, her emails, her lawyers who cleaned up a bunch of the emails, to investigate the role of James Comey and some of his staff with respect to that investigation, to investigate Huma Abedin and her husband, the pervert Weiner, to investigate the whole bunch of them, to get access to whatever information hasn't been destroyed and whatever is left, and to get to the bottom of the violations, the serial, numerous violations of the Espionage Act. They're worried about the Russians, the Democrats? Now let's find out what the Russians learned off her private server that was not secure. Why don't we do that? So yes, let's all get together, because I'm sure Jeffrey Toobin will agree that that's lawless. We can't have anything like this going on. This is a date that will be remembered in infamy. But of course, nobody will do that. Let's go on. Senator John Cornyn, Rhino, Texas. The Senate's number 2 Republican told reporters he was surprised by the news, but said that Comey served at the pleasure of the president. Obviously, he's been the center of controversy both among Democrats and Republicans at different times. Sounds to me, from reading the president's letter, he lost confidence in him. Can't put one past Cornyn, I'll tell you that. A number of the other senators, including Grassley, Maine Senator Collins, Oklahoma Senator Lankford, backed Trump's decision, suggesting Comey had lost credibility with the public. But Grassley, who chairs the Senate Judiciary Committee, and Collins, a member of the Intelligence Committee, also pointed to Comey's handling of the investigation into former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's private email server. The handling of the Clinton email investigation is a clear example of how Comey's decisions have been called into question and the trust and political independence of the FBI, asserted Grassley. Collins said while Comey's handling of the Clinton case last year was well-intentioned, Trump's decision was the inevitable conclusion of the lingering fallout. Wow, Collins. right once every 10 or 20 years. Not every GOP senator immediately supported Trump's decision, the timing of which raised eyebrows across Washington. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell sidestepped weighing in on the dismissal at all, instead pledging in a statement that the Senate would work to confirm a successor. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I have told you now for years I supported a primary candidate against McConnell when none of the other big hosts would, Matt Bevin, who's now the governor of Kentucky. Mitch McConnell is a disaster for the Republican Party, a disaster for conservatives, and quite frankly, a disaster for the nation. He does not provide an effective voice against Schumer and the Democrats. He either is missing in action, or when he does say something, it's either inconsequential or poorly communicated. He has been a weight around the ankle of the Republican Party and the conservative movement now for decades. And I don't know how we remove him from that perch. And the next one stepping in Cornyn is not much better. But when your president's under attack for doing something that's thoroughly legitimate, you should step up as the Senate Republican leader and the Senate Majority Leader. You see what Schumer's doing, you should be addressing Schumer, but he doesn't.